Think you can read the room?
There you go.
Read the room?
I love that.
Read the room. This show is about the people who navigate this for a living.
Okay, I got this.
Designers, entrepreneurs, and creative minds who do it all day long. I'm Erin Haskell. Let's read the room.
Hi.
Hi.
I miss you.
I know. It's been a long time.
I know.
Is this what it's going to take for us to get together?
Yes, it is. I make you come over.
If it's work related, we're all over it.
We are.
Yeah.
That's true. Yeah. I feel like that's kind of modern day friends for busy people.
Yes.
Do you think?
I feel like you're the busiest person I know. I'm not kidding. I'm serious. You're like the hardest working person I know.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Well, thank you. I mean,
Except for Elon Musk.
Except for Elon.
That guy's really busy. Yeah.
That's true. He is. He's
Yeah.
probably busier than me. I don't know. But
But you're doing good because you're beautifying the world. Do you know what I'm saying?
Really?
Yes.
Well, I try.
Your busy work is actually providing a service to the world. Making everything aesthetically more beautiful. That's a thing. Yeah.
And thoughtful.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
I agree. Thank
Yes.
you. At least that's the goal, right?
Yes.
So I'm welcoming Caroline Yu.
Mm-hmm.
She is a lot of things. She is
Too many.
real estate mogul.
No, I'm
Yes,
not.
she is. She's a developer. Yes, she is.
Yes.
She is a skincare master,
Well,
I would say.
devotee.
Devotee.
Yeah.
Okay. She recently went viral like a year ago. Longer
Oh,
than that?
when I did my story on
Yeah.
ugly skincare.
Yes,
Because
yes.
aesthetics, people, they matter. You know what I mean? That's the whole thing, right? It matters. Like people do care about what things look like.
Oh,
we can
yeah.
pretend that you don't,
100%.
but they do. Yeah.
Yeah.
Read the Room is sponsored by HardwareHut.com. Since 1995, HardwareHut.com has been offering high-quality hardware online to builders, interior designers, project managers, and homeowners just like you.
I would say that you're all things skincare obsessed. Is that fair to say?
Totally, yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
All things skincare obsessed. And
As soon as I saw one wrinkle, I was like, fuck no. I was like, then it just became my whole life. Yeah.
that's right. I think I met you. I don't know how many years have I known you?
10? Not quite 10 years.
Okay, almost 10 years. But the first thing she told me when I met her is how she's been saving up for her facelift. And I was like, excuse me, what?
A girl's
She had the most perfect chiseled, what I think people strive for, perfection. So I was very intrigued and confused when I first met you.
You have to get your bag together for the future, right? It's not all about today.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right.
Yep.
I get that. So you have been skin obsessed, invested for a long time.
Mm-hmm.
You know all the things about the things.
Well, I don't know all the things, but I try to learn about all the things.
Okay, you try to learn about other things.
Yes.
And you're doing such an amazing job, I think, just educating, women about all the things too. I mean, you're really into, aging for sure, but also like overall wellness.
Yeah, HRT, aging, that's like so critical to talk about. And
Yeah.
it's sad because now social media is where people actually go for information. And that's where I go to learn things. And that's where I have learned a lot of things, which is crazy to say, but it's absolutely true today.
Well, also on that note, I'm going to also say she was like a real life, badass journalist in San Francisco. I mean, you can, YouTube her.
That was a
it's-
long time
It's pretty
ago.
incredible. Yeah. But
Yeah.
you were very amazing. And I was like,
Wow.
whoa.
Are you like, I've never seen you so serious in my life.
Yes, you
Yeah.
were serious, but in, that perfect journalist, way. So that was cool to watch. But anyways, so what you're saying is, social media, people get all of their news now. But one of the things I want to dive into today is, when it comes to design, obviously, that we do a lot of medical aesthetics. And so, I think we're on like our 7th one right now. But what's so amazing about you is that you actually travel to Korea. You're Korean, obviously, yourself. And you told me a long time ago that the Koreans are the most beautiful, the most skin obsessed.
Well, not unbiased or anything, but we are
Yeah.
definitely the most skin obsessed. That's for
Okay.
sure. Yeah. I mean, people are always covering themselves up. They are scared of the sun, all the things they're doing. And part of it, I think, really just has to do with, this is more culturally related. It is a hyper competitive society. hyper competitive, and not in a good way. The high suicide rate. It's the most like advanced educated country in the world. So many people have advanced degrees, and that makes it really hard for you to stand out. And one of the ways people feel they have to be competitive is to look their best. So it's pretty common for people to have plastic surgery like immediately after graduating from high school or graduating from college. When you're applying for jobs, you're sending in a photo with your resume, your weight, your height, your parents, your address, all the things, because they're going to be checking you out. So I don't think it's healthy in that in that way, right? It's just too much. But people are absolutely obsessed with looking a certain way. 100%. Yeah.
Okay.
To an unhealthy degree. Yes.
But one of the things that I think is fascinating, I feel like, there's all these things in skincare, right? I mean, I can't even keep up with them. It's like one day it's this, one day it's that. And I feel like I actually have an edge up because I work with all these medical aesthetic clinics and all these amazing, nurses who are my clients who, keep me informed, but I still feel like I have no idea. And there's so many things out there. But what's so fascinating about you is that you actually go to Korea and you visit these clinics. Are they called clinics?
They are. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. But they're
not called med spas.
Well, so the difference between the US ones and the ones in Korea, they do have a med spa like feel. And by that, it feels more luxurious than like a doctor's office or a sterile setting. But in Korea, you cannot be a nurse and be doing injections or procedures. Here, you can get a laser procedure done with an aesthetic nurse, right? You can't in Korea. You have to be a physician. So they're all doctors who are doing the work. And then you have to think about how competitive the society is and how hard it is in a competitive society to become a doctor. I mean, it's hard to become a doctor in the US. It's really hard to become one in Korea. So you're talking like some of the best are becoming doctors. And that is why everything there is also more advanced. I mean, just the number of people who become doctors, it's so selective. And these are the people who are treating you. So you're generally in really safe hands is what I would say. Yeah. When you go to Korea and you get treatments done. Not always, of course, there are going to be problems, but generally that is going to be the case.
So that's interesting. I did not know that. And I will say, too, with the med spas here in the United States, they're always sort of backed by a doctor.
Yes, that's right.
They have a doctor
like overseeing
at large,
the
representing
practice.
them.
Yeah.
Yes,
yeah.
exactly.
But there, the doctors are actually treating you.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's a major difference.
I think that it's more recently that we are seeing so much aesthetic medical tourism with plastic surgery and whatnot, that these offices have just become these very luxurious settings. So if you think of, a really beautiful office for a plastic surgeon, let's say in Beverly Hills or whatnot, or in New York, and what that looks like. Yeah. That is what they look like all over Korea when they are catering to foreign clientele. Now, if they're not, and they're just kind of like a single doctor running her shop, it's going to look probably worse than what we see here in the U.S. So that is a very interesting distinction. It's like either much, much better or worse than what you expect. Yeah.
Okay. Wow. I have so many questions. So first of all, I feel like, I guess the question goes back to you. Why do you feel like Korea has become sort of the hot spot for people to go outside of the U.S. and get these procedures done?
Okay. So again, they already had that. The culture is very focused on looking good and, fitting a mold, right? So, and people are doing anything they can to fit that mold. But on top of it, the Korean government actually invests in the beauty care and beauty community. They probably invest in the plastic surgery community. So, wow. Yeah. I mean, they have researchers.
Maybe Elon should do that.
Right. Instead. Yeah. Focus his thoughts on that. Yeah. How perfect our skin could be. Yeah. We just had billions of dollars into that instead of going to Mars. Okay. Right. So think about a top public university here in the US, and think about if the government spent government money to do research on perfecting your skin. How incredible would that be? There just isn't a private company that can compete with government funding. You know what I mean?
Right.
And the Korean government understands like this is a big business for Korea, and they have been putting money into this area for a long time to research skincare treatments, products. I don't know about surgeries, but I would not be surprised. So when I was there last summer, I had something called lip blushing done. The way they do it in Korea, it's like a pigment for your lips, okay?
Like a tattoo?
Exactly.
Okay.
Except the way we do it in the US is to add pigment and color so that it almost looks like you always have lip gloss or lipstick on. Right. The Korean way is to actually change the shape of your lip, which really I haven't seen in the US yet, because they will tattoo outside of the lip skin, but actually onto your skin. And that was a method developed at a university in Korea. And so I don't know who funded it, but it's a public university. I don't know if it was government funding, but do you see how much money is being spent in this industry? It's wild, right? So that's why things are so advanced in Korea. And the doctors there also, I think that they are willing to do things that seem more extreme, if that makes sense, right?
Right.
And I think a long time ago, people thought like microblading was extreme. And we don't think that anymore because we've kind of gotten used to the idea of tattooing your eyebrows on. And that is a method that Koreans worked on too. So, there's bone shaving going on in Korea and, so that's probably why it's become this epicenter. And now it's kind of feeding
What do you mean
itself.
bone shaping?
Well, so
Yeah.
Now
Please, let's go into there.
okay. So this is very cultural. Okay. Korean people really value this V-line jawline.
Okay.
And a lot of Koreans don't have it. I mean, just, generally people don't all have these nice V-shaped jawlines.
They don't come out perfection.
And Koreans also tend to have like a round moon face is what we would often say. Okay. That's like my mom has it. Okay. She's gorgeous. And so they will literally shave down your jawbone to create that look. Or like for me, I have like one cheekbone is much higher than this one. Okay. Well, okay.
By the way, I'm looking at her. That's not
no,
true.
It is 100% true. And I'm going to get this one shaved down. I'm like, you know what? This really bothers me. And I'm not going to do it in the US where they don't shave down cheekbones. They're shaving down cheekbones in Korea. Okay. Lots of cheekbones getting shaved down. That's where I'm going to go. You know what I mean? Like they're not scared to do some of the things that.
Now, does that give you like that chisel?
It's not. For me, it's just like because I have asymmetry. But people will do it because they feel like their cheekbones are too prominent. Because a Korean facial feature,
which is so funny because in the U.S. people are like,
yes, they're like trying to get
I want
cheekbone implants.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah. So different aesthetic values, right?
Okay.
Yeah.
So that's interesting too.
Yeah.
Okay. So do you think that Koreans like maybe goal was to have more people, like you said, skincare? I think you said skincare tourism.
Oh, right.
You
Like
think it
the
was
whole
their goal
aesthetic tourism.
To have like people from other countries
I wouldn't be
there?
surprised if it was something that like started taking off and then the government really invested in that. Like K-pop is a whole government manufactured phenomenon, and the whole K-drama industry is.
Oh,
so,
like the music industry.
Yeah, and the entertainment industry. Like with all these, everyone's into K-drama and, all the movies that have come out of Korea that have like won awards and things like that. That is not by accident. That is all driven by the Korean government. After the Korean War, they invested in these areas and they were like, we're going to make this a big part of our identity and help take this abroad. So they have put a lot of funding into that. And, so do they put funding into the skincare and aesthetic industry? Absolutely. Because they see what a huge moneymaker it is for the country. So yes.
Okay. Wow.
Yeah. Imagine if the U.S. government would invest in skincare in this country, okay? That would be amazing.
Okay, so let's first, what are the big differences, I would say, not even in design-wise. We'll get into that, but like just menu-wise, what are the big differences and price-wise if, going to a medical aesthetics, clinic here in the U.S. versus going to versus a Korean one?
Okay, so I'm going to just speak to, let's say, one that is geared to tourists and foreigners.
Yeah.
Okay. And not like the local ones that are small that people would go to. Okay, you go in there and first of all, it is a very luxurious setting. Like you walk in and it's really beautifully done. It's extremely clean.
How so? paint me the
Everything's very
picture.
modern.
Okay.
Okay. They want everything to look modern and cool.
Yeah.
I will say it's interesting because they have a lot of staff because these are larger clinics. Okay. And by larger, I mean they're open into the evening. I went to one and I think I left at 8:30 at night and there's still people there in the waiting room. And they probably see, no joke, a couple hundred people a day.
Okay.
And that would be like my guess for how many people, based on how many people I saw in the waiting room. Like we went to a food market, which was clear in one part of Seoul.
Yeah.
And I remember seeing these 4 Japanese women. They're like decked out head to toe in Chanel. Okay. They were just like, they're the goals for who we want to be in 20 years from now, right? Taking a girls trip together.
Yeah.
And so they're eating noodles at this Korean food market.
Yeah.
And then later on, I saw these 4 Chanel'd women at the Korean, medical clinic. And I was like, oh, hey. I was like, what are you guys doing here? And they're like, well, we just come here, routinely to get our skin done and Botox and whatnot. So
From Japan.
Yes.
Okay.
So they are really geared toward foreigners. And so you go there, everything's just aesthetically very beautiful. It's not as personal is what I would say, but it's very professional and well run. You come in, they have lockers set up for you to put all your personal things. It's very thoughtful design is what I would say.
Yeah. So, let's go into that. So you go in and what do you mean they have lockers for you? Like
you walk in,
Yeah.
you're in a waiting room, and then when they call you in, you will meet with a translator. And then along with the translator, there will sometimes be somebody who's going to go over, your procedures or treatments that you're thinking of.
Yeah.
And in my experience, they were really honest with me. Like they told me things I should not be doing. Which I was really surprised because I went in with this mindset, I want these treatments done. And they were like, you don't have the right skin for that. So they were very upfront and honest, and they're not just trying to sell you on everything, which I think feels different than in the US. When I feel like in the US, they're willing to do almost anything you ask for. And they dissuaded me from a lot of things. And they were like, you really need like 3 treatments of that to see an impact. You're only going to do one. Is it really worth it to you? Like they talked me out of more things than they talked me into. Once they get you set up, they escort you to a locker room area. They have these, and they're nice looking lockers.
Like a spa situation.
Exactly. In that way. Exactly. You put your stuff in there and then they have a whole sink with cleansing products and it's all like nice stuff.
Yes.
They'll have Dyson hair dryers. Some of them will even have makeup for you to use after. So it really is a much more like full experience. And that is very common in anything that is considered like a higher end retail or luxury experience or service. That is how everything is done. They always have a coffee station or a drink station. They'll have a snack station in a way that you just don't see here in the US or in Europe or anything like that, I would say, which I think is nice. And then it does kind of feel like a little bit of a factory in that there's like, oh, you're at step 1, now you're at step 2. And then there's somebody there moving you. Yeah, there's somebody moving you along. But it's a beautiful environment. It's very sterile. Like you're not thinking, oh, this looks kind of dusty or dirty, which I have seen in some places.
Of course.
With even some of the plastic surgeons I visited here in the U.S.
I think
right?
they're actually worse.
Yeah. So you don't see anything like that. You're not even allowed to wear shoes. Like they want you to wear these slippers. You will never get on a table, like a patient's bed table with your shoes on. That is like considered a huge no-no. Oh. I did that accidentally and they were like absolutely appalled. It was as if I licked a toilet seat or something, you know what I mean? And they were like, and then they felt like they had to disinfect everything. So it's just a very different experience, but,
and you change?
You do change. Yep. You do change. And somebody comes and they cleanse your whole face. They gave me a shot in the butt. Which I thought was really interesting
without warning you
for pain control, which I was like, wait a minute, you're putting a shot in my ass. Like, what is happening here? And they're like, and so it's just different.
Did they tell you they were going to do that?
Yes, they
do.
Okay. Good. They bring you into a private room. They don't try to do it in front of everybody. But yeah, you're just there with like a little night thing and they give you the shot in the butt. So The pricing is incredibly fair, which
Let's
I
go
don't
into the pricing.
understand how they do it. So I had Thermage and Althera done. And these devices, the machines they have, they are the actual from the manufacturers. They're not, because they do have the Korean version too, right? Because they're coming out with their own technology and their own machines and things like that. But they'll have the Thermage trademarked branded device, and they give you an authenticity certificate. Everything comes with a QR code. You scan it, and it'll tell you exactly what you had done. And
That's cool.
Yeah, and so they want you to know, like, this is the real deal.
Full transparency.
Yes.
Okay.
And the pricing is just like, I had Althera on my jawline and I paid $300 and some dollars. That's, even if you just do this area in the US, you're talking quotes from, $1,200 to $3,000. So,
First of all, for the people at home,
300, okay?
let's talk about what that is. Because people are going to be really curious about what you got done.
Right.
And you got to dumb it down for the normies.
Well,
okay?
yeah.
You're advanced.
Everything. Okay, so what I'm going to say
What
is,
did you get done?
without getting into like all the detail about all the treatments, everything that people are trying to do is to tighten, create more collagen, and lift. And there's different modalities for how it gets done. It could be through ultrasound. It could be through heat. It could be through, something like microneedling, where you are creating injury to the skin and then rebuilding, or to, the underneath layers. That's the goal of all of these treatments. Thermage uses heat therapy, and I did that. Althera uses ultrasound therapy. I did that as well. I personally, thank God I didn't pay U.S. pricing, because that would have made me feel really ripped off. I would say there's some change, but it's not even enough for you to notice it.
And do you think it would have been different in the U.S.?
Well, I would have paid thousands and thousands more.
But you don't think it would have been any better?
I don't think so. For somebody like me who goes to a clinic like that, they're used to working with my skin tone and type.
Yeah.
They're going to probably know better than anybody how to treat my skin and get the best result, is my guess.
Okay.
And listen, the cost of these treatments are so high in the U.S. If you are someone who has this device and you're charging $3,000 to do a face of Thermage, let's just say your entire face and neck, I doubt you're doing 10 a day. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
They use...
Well, you don't need to.
Well, I doubt they're doing 10 people a day, right?
Okay.
Yes, and you're right. From a cost perspective, you don't even need to at that point if you're charging so much money, right?
Right.
But it's like, you go there, and this doctor that you're seeing, she's probably done 100 patients with Thermage that day. Who do you think is going to understand the settings better? Do you know what I mean? This is a person who's just working on this machine day in and day out. Because if you do a different treatment, you get a different doctor.
Okay.
So it's not like this one doctor is following you. And I'm not saying they couldn't do it. I just don't know. But, there was somebody else doing all therapy. There's somebody else doing these other treatments, basically.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
But my guess is they're serving hundreds of patients a day, or dozens even. They just probably really know the device.
And why do you think it's so much less,
All I
less?
can think it's a volume thing.
Sure.
But again, it's like the U.S. I posted about somebody, needing to get this medication, and it was going to cost her $2,000 without any insurance. And then I had people who live in the U.K. tell me, you can buy this for 70 pounds, right? Without insurance. And then somebody from, Australia saying it was, $74. And so why are we paying more for everything in the US? I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know. That is
the question.
Really interesting. I've asked dermatologists, I'll be like, how come you cannot get this pricing down? Why are they able to do that in Korea and you are not? And they don't even have a good answer for it. And the interesting thing is, at these foreigner-friendly medical clinics and spas, they are dealing with hundreds of patients. You can see there's a volume thing.
Yeah.
But I went to a clinic, a doctor's office that really serves local Koreans. Okay. I'm talking, you're getting under a fuzzy blanket. You know what I mean? And they gave me a stuffed animal to hold. Okay. It is very homey, right?
Oh, okay.
You know what I'm saying? This is not that kind of environment. And I told you, by our standard, it would be not as nice as a US small doctor's office, right? When you're going into one that's just really serving locals. But she had a lot of these lasers and devices and machines, and the price was so inexpensive. It was just wild to me. I had a series of 3 treatments and paid $250, something like that, 225 to 250, in what would have probably cost me well over $3,000 if I had the work done in the US. So
Wow.
even with less volume, they're still able to get that pricing down, which I think is interesting. I don't know why. I don't know how.
Yeah, I guess that is the question. Well, in the U.S., we know that the medical aesthetic industry is $40 billion industry.
Look good. You know, it's so interesting because I don't see that many good-looking people for $40 billion. It's not working, okay?
Well, yeah, I know. Well, there's that. But that's hilarious. Well, you know, we're just doing our best. That's what I say, right? But I mean, as far from a design perspective, that's so interesting. What you said, the chronological, because I will say in the U.S. of especially of the medical aesthetic clinics that we've designed, you know, our goal is to really maximize for exam rooms, right? Because that's
put in the number of exam
put in the
rooms,
number of exam rooms, because that is really where they're going to make, you know, their bread and butter, right?
Yeah.
And it's not so much in the chronological order of, you know, they come in. I've noticed that in the U.S., we really try to make it so that people have choices where to sit. I think, you know, a lot of people, it's kind of one of those things. We're not necessarily embarrassed to be there, but they don't really want anyone to see them, you know? So there's a little bit of that. I think it's getting better where it's like, I do Botox. Yeah, I do filler. Yeah, I do microneedling.
Yep.
You know, I mean, I'm that way, but you know,
well, I think
each their
you,
own.
me, all our friends are that way.
Yeah.
We talk about it so openly. So
we do.
Yeah,
We do. So there is that. But I feel like, you know, people aren't coming in with like their friends, you know, they're coming in kind of alone.
Right.
And they want this like one-on-one treatment. So we like to give them choices kind of where they sit. And of course, you know, they get, you know, coffee or whatever, but it's not this where they're, you know, treated to, hey, follow me, come to this separate
Right.
room, you know,
Yes.
get comfortable. I think that's a big difference of
Yeah.
like, hey, you know, like put your guard down, you know,
Yep.
you know, people are still like, you know, they don't change, right? I would say they get called back,
Yep.
you know, to their exam room. And I think there's a lot of questions too. You know, people, they ask me and I'm like, oh, I mean, I design for them, but there's so many questions that people have, like to have that one-on-one, like
Oh, you mean with the doctor?
with the
or
doctor. And so that was
provider.
interesting what you said is that, you know, you get asked that kind of like, you get that rundown right when you walk in.
Oh, yeah.
Of like, hey, this is what we're going to do.
That's
I
right.
wouldn't do this because of that.
Yeah.
And I think it's different in the U.S. because in the U.S. people, you know, do a consultation, whether that's paid for or whatever.
Yep.
So they kind of have their time, right, to say, like, okay, what treatments are good for them. And then they make kind of a separate appointment,
Right.
right?
Yeah.
Whereas
So
like you're
they're-
saying it kind of does it all in one.
Oh yeah. I mean, but listen, I was at this clinic for like 3 hours. I mean,
Okay.
this is not, they're not trying to rush you in and rush you out. You know,
Wow.
you do not feel rushed. And we were at the consultation for over an hour. Now I was there with my mom and my sister. So we had different questions, right, that we were asking. But for 2 people to spend an hour with us is a lot of time. So they can't afford a doctor to talk to 2, 3, or it was 3 people, right? They just can't afford that, to have a doctor spend an hour answering
Sure.
all your, you know, stupid
Well, it's
questions.
not a good use of their
right?
time.
It's not a good use of their time. Interestingly, okay, the Botox there is so interesting. There was a male doctor doing Botox on everybody in basically like a room, you know, this size essentially, where they just had a bunch of beds laid out in rows. And people just went and got on a bed. They took you to a bed, you sat down, and the Botox doctor came, and then he just did your face.
Botox musical chairs.
Yeah, it was. It literally was like that. It was hilarious. Yeah.
Yes.
And so I was like, oh, this is interesting. But you know how inexpensive the Botox is there? Okay. They did Korean Botox. You can get the Botox brand Botox if you want. Okay. Like the AbbVie Botox. You are going to pay closer to the retail price of what we pay. I think not as much, but close. If you want Korean Botox, which they have their own brand of, you know, Botox, botulism.
Poison.
Yes, that's right. You are going to pay, let's see.
It's okay. It doesn't go into the bloodstream. It's very safe.
They did crow's feet.
Yeah.
And they did my chin. Okay. And it was $40.
No.
Yes.
How
and
many
then they
units?
just, and,
How many
And then
units?
they just said, don't worry about paying for it. It's fine. I saying? Because they were at that point, I had gotten all Thera and Dermage, they were just like, yeah, don't worry about it. We'll just do it for free.
And how many units? Do they even tell you?
I don't remember how much it was.
Okay.
How many units it was. They do it very differently. They do it very superficially, so you still have some movement. They never want
They don't want to freeze you.
That's right. They are willing to do a shit ton of plastic surgery and a shit ton of work, but they don't want to look like they did it. Whereas here, people love that, like, there is a look, right, where you can be overfilled or overdone, right?
Yes.
And there is an appreciation by some people for that look. Nobody wants that in Korea. Nobody's getting a friggin' BBL on their butt. You know what I'm saying? Like, nobody wants that there.
Oh,
yeah.
okay.
So there's a different aesthetic that you have to understand there too. Going into it,
they don't want the big filler look.
Nobody has chipmunk cheeks or big lips.
The big lips.
Yeah, nobody has BBL, huge boobs. They're not into that look. They want it to look as natural as possible by doing the most. You know what I'm saying? Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
In our world, we sometimes say like the best design goes unnoticed. That's what
right.
kind of their goal is.
Yeah, so
right?
that's why I'm trying to get this facelift and neck lift now. Like,
Yeah,
I need to do it before it gets noticeable. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, I can't be waiting around till everyone's like telling me to put a chin strap on. Okay, at night when I go to bed.
Yeah, let's focus on that because focus on number 2, the facelift. So a lot of doctors have said, hey, cool it with the filler, because a lot of times they're going in when they decide to do the facelift. And they have a lot of what they're doing is they're kind of like taking out all that filler, which what they're saying is like kind of a pain for them, So they're saying like, hey, cool it. If you decide that you want to do the facelift, let's chill out on the filler. Is that right? Is that fair?
Yeah, I think that there's a movement away. I mean, personally, I think there's a movement away from filler, but the latest like information that was compiled by, the American Plastic Surgeons Association. I don't know what the official name of the trade group is, but they said that there was more filler actually than like ever before. So maybe people are doing it, but the doctors are getting so good that it is much less noticeable now. I just am not sure. But there seems to be an anti-filler movement is what I feel like, whereas people are really learning what overfilled faces look like, how it can attract water, how it creates lymphatic drainage issues. And personally, for me, I'm just fucking cheap. I'm like, I don't want to spend $800 on one vial of filler and it's very temporary. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? And then I'm going to have to spend it again. And usually one vial of filler is not enough. Like, you're going to need several vials of filler.
To make a difference.
To really, yeah.
Yeah.
And some people can get some very subtle difference, but I'm not 35 years old anymore. You know what I'm saying? Like, I need a gallon of filler if I want to see a difference at this point. So I just feel like I'm not willing to spend $3,000-$4,000 on filler when I can try and do a fat transfer, which is going to be more permanent and have less complications, maybe. So that's just personal to me, but I think everyone has to decide like their comfort level. Like, I'm not going to go into any names here, but you and I have a good friend who has had filler in the past, and I'm like, why don't you just go get a fat transfer? Like, you're filling that area all the time, right?
I have to think who that is. I don't know who you're talking about right now. But.
Okay, I'll just tell you afterwards. But anyway, I mean, she's not going to care, right? Because she already know, she gets work done. She knows you know that. And she's like, I'm scared of anything surgical.
Oh, okay.
And
well,
so you know what I mean?
Yeah, that's definitely a thing.
Yeah. So it's like, okay, I get it. Or I'm like, stop filling your lips. Just get a lip lift. And then you won't ever have to worry about it ever again, right? And for her, cost is not an issue. Okay. Now I'm sure you know who I'm talking about. And so, she's just like, I'm out here spending money left and right. What do I care? I just want, and she probably likes the instant gratification too.
Yeah,
right?
There's that too. Yeah.
But she's like, I'm scared of anything that's permanent is what her fear is. So she's
Which
like,
is very valid.
Yeah. So I'm not saying that filler is, everyone, I'm just like, people be happy with whatever you are.
Of course. There's just a lot of different ways to get there.
That's right.
And I know for you, you really want the facelift. I know we've talked.
I don't want it. I just have to have it.
Oh, okay.
Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I know. Okay.
That's the first thing I think when I look at you.
Yeah. I mean.
Yeah.
It's kind of like.
She needs a facelift.
Well, I don't want it, but I understand, like, I have to have it. I'm
sure.
You know what I'm saying?
Well, I think
I'm resigned to understanding, like I'm just going to have to. It's kind of like, this is how I feel about men. Okay. I am attracted to them and I don't want to be. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, I can't help that
You
this
don't want
is
to be attracted
happening.
to men?
Yeah, because I'm like so irritated by them at the same time.
Oh,
but
sure.
you know what I mean? It's
Yeah.
like against my will, I am attracted to them. And it's the same thing about this facelift. I don't want to have this facelift, but I just have to. And I am resigned to it. Do you know what I'm saying? It's like I just
Yes.
accept it and I'm like, well, if I want to keep things tight and right, which I really do, then I
Right.
better get on that shit and not complain about it.
Right. Well,
know.
God's blessed you or whoever you believe in.
Satan,
With amazing skin. I mean, even if you do nothing for the rest of your life, you will still be about 90% better looking than anybody else. So just know that.
I mean, it absolutely makes a difference. And the way Asian skin ages is by getting pigmentation.
Okay.
That, white skin ages by getting wrinkles and our skin ages with pigmentation.
Right.
And let me tell you, once that pigmentation comes, you cannot fucking get that shit off of your face. It is just always on and you're constantly fighting it. So it's just a different form of aging is what I would say.
Okay.
Yeah.
And I did find something fascinating that you told me is that when she went to these clinics in Korea, they said, "Oh, you're not from around here." Right?
Oh, yeah, they humble you so fast. Yeah. She was like, it was Dr. Che. She is at Rael Clinic, and I'm telling you, she is a genius with skin. I said to her, I'm a Korean person. I said, 한국 사람이에요, which means I'm a Korean person. I said, 근데 한국에서 안 살아요, but I don't live here. 미국에서 살아요. I live in the U.S. And she said, oh, well, I already know that because no Korean person would allow their skin to get that bad. What she told me. Yeah.
She was like, Leda.
Yeah, she was. Yeah, that's right. 100%. She was like, Leda. Yeah. And so anyway, I mean, but in a very charming, like your funny, amazing aunt who is always
Sure.
truthful and straightforward to you. It's just like
Which is my favorite humor.
me too. And I
Yeah.
just like things to be very straightforward.
Yes.
And I'm like, that is the kind of truth I need. Like, I don't need to, okay. Have you ever done this where you play this game where you're like, would you rather this or that? It's like,
Yes.
would you rather be unattractive but think you're the most beautiful person or be beautiful but think you're unattractive? Okay, I would rather be beautiful and think that I'm unattractive. Okay, like I'm okay with my mental health suffering like that. Do you know what I'm saying? If I live in a different reality than what's truly. So that's what I mean. I want
Yeah.
somebody to tell me the truth.
Sure.
You know what I'm saying? I don't want to be delusional and thinking,
Yeah.
oh, my skin's looking.
You
but
probably loved her even more when she said
yeah,
that.
I love everything about her. Yes.
Yes.
She had other insults for me too, which I totally appreciate. Yeah. And so if you see her, you do have to be prepared for that. And that's just generally in Korea. When
Yeah.
you're going to an aesthetic place, they're going to tell you. They
Yes.
might be like, your skin, if you lose weight because you're so fat, it's probably going to be wrinkly. So, you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
no one in the U.S. is going to tell you something. No doctor in the U.S. would tell you that, right? And in Korea, they're going to just tell you straight up what's up.
Yeah.
That's the thing. So if you don't want that, or if you can't handle
it.
that,
Sure.
it's not the place to go,
Oh, there you go.
right? Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Well, and some people might think, okay, yeah, like to go to Korea, I mean, there's a cost there, right? To fly there,
Oh, yeah.
stay there.
Yeah.
They're kind of thinking, well, 3,000 plus this is kind of like,
Yeah, yeah.
maybe the same, right? I don't know. But let's like go into your facelift because I just find that personally fascinating. Now, the doctors that are doing these medical aesthetics, are they also plastic surgeons or is that totally separate?
Mhm,
Okay,
separate.
that's separate. And so do the plastic surgeons go to like more school? Just like they do in
I'm
the
sure they
US?
do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
okay.
And a lot of them are even U.S. trained.
Okay.
Most all of them will speak English. If you are a well-educated person in Korea, you speak English.
Okay.
I mean, that's just,
Sure.
and that's the way it is probably in every other country, right? Because
Got it.
everybody is learning a second language except for the U.S. And so you go to Europe and you meet somebody who's very well-educated. They're speaking English.
Sure.
For the most part. Yeah.
And so have you been to a plastic surgery office in Korea?
No.
Okay. But you're going to.
100%. I mean, yeah.
And what are the cost differences with that?
So this is based on me talking to people who've had facelifts done, other surgical treatments and procedures done.
Yeah.
So I follow this woman. Her name is Sarah. She has an account called Made in Korea, and she is a Korean American who is living in Korea right now because her husband is working there.
Yeah.
So she's like an expat there. And she had lower blepharoplasty, and she's young but
What does
had
that mean?
really bad bags under her eyes.
Mhm.
And she had the bags, I don't know if they were removed or repositioned. and then she had fat grafting done. And she paid $1,200 for that treatment. I should call it a procedure. $1,200 is, I don't know where you're going to go in the U.S. for $1,200. I'm sure there are
be in the
places.
US for that?
I'm sure it's $5,000 at least to do that at
And
a place that is average price is my guess, because an upper bleph could easily run you $10,000 or more.
Yeah.
Now you can also get it done for $5,000, but you could go to $20,000 even, right? If you're going to some of the most well-known names on social media who focus on
for the facelift.
Yeah, for eyes, let's say.
Okay.
I think you could easily get into the $10,000 to $20,000 range to do upper and lower blepharoplasties. And that's a pretty easy procedure actually.
What about the full-on facelift? I mean, you've talked about, you've talked about saving for a while, like,
I know.
Yeah.
So for the
Let's
full
get
on,
into that.
okay, so for the full on facelift, I have heard very recently, if you went to one that really caters to foreigners, the prices have gone up so much. So I know a woman who had a facelift, neck lift, she had her eyes done, she had fat grafting done, forehead lift, and she paid about $30,000, which is pretty comparable to a lot of prices that people are charging in the U.S. I mean, you can pay, the $100,000 facelift is now very common.
In the U.S.?
Yes.
Okay.
In the U.S., yeah.
And what would that cost in Korea for the same thing?
So I think that is comparable to probably like the $30,000, like what this woman had. She went to a very...
So you're saving almost $70,000.
Yeah, but she went to a very well-known clinic in Korea.
Yeah.
I don't know, though, how much it would be if you went to the local version. You know what I mean? The plastic surgeon who really does locals.
Okay.
I don't know how much that would be.
Okay.
But I'm going to find out.
Stay tuned.
And once I do, I'll tell everybody who that is and how much it is.
Yes.
So access is for all of us. Yeah.
Okay.
But I know people who've had, in talking to different people who've had work done there, you could get a facelift there for like $10,000.
Wow.
You can get one for even probably less than that if you go to somebody who really does locals only. Yeah. So, and I've seen the before and afters, and they look great.
So you feel like it's totally safe to go to Korea and find a doctor. And how are you even going about doing that? That's where you have to follow Caroline on social media, because she'll go all into those details. But you haven't heard any negative stories, things like that.
I would say there are definitely negative stories. I don't know of any personally, and none have come my way in my DMs. That doesn't mean that it doesn't happen and it's not a problem, because I think it could be a problem. Yeah. There were lots of issues of, especially at these ones that were geared toward foreigners, of people who would come and do their consult with who they were supposed to have the work done by. Yeah. And then another doctor would come when you were under, and some other doctor would perform the procedure. And I don't remember, there's a name for it, like ghost doctor or something like that. Oh. And then people would end up with these complications. Now they have CCTV cameras in the operating room, so you can watch the video and know that this doctor did the work, because this was a problem. Oh. Yeah, I know. So,
well, that's even interesting.
Yeah,
in
it's
itself.
kind of crazy, right, to think. So it definitely is there's definitely different risks, is what I would say. I think anytime you get an industry in which you're getting a lot of people who are coming and they're desperate to get something done and save money and cut corners or something like that, that other side is going to proliferate, right? There's going to be always people trying to figure out ways to take advantage, is what I would say.
Sure.
And
it's not foolproof.
No. So
nothing is.
I think just like in the US, you have to get great recommendations. But I just tell you, I get DMs from people who've gone to some of the biggest names in plastic surgery. If I said them, you would completely recognize who these people are, who had bad outcomes.
Yeah.
And you know
what?
And
they paid like $250K.
Yeah. Or they paid $125,000 or whatever. And they had either a disappointing outcome or a truly bad outcome. And they're going to have to get now work done again. But what I have not had are in all those cases, people have said the doctors owned it and fixed it. So I think that is actually really good to hear.
That is good to hear.
Because you're spending, I don't care if you're spending $20,000 or $100,000, you don't want a bad outcome. And you don't feel like it's okay because you spent $20,000 that you got a bad outcome. So I think that part, I don't know in Korea if you had a bad outcome, if they would fix it. Like, I'm not sure.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. That's interesting.
Yeah. Like I don't know, because if you're only serving people who just come in and out, right? And they're just there to get one treatment done, do you care that much about like keeping them happy as a patient or a client? You know what I'm saying, right?
Yeah.
It's just
Well,
like,
especially
and they're
if there's
just like,
such like a
rotating through people
yes,
constantly. Yeah.
yes.
So I think there is that risk factor to it. Yeah.
Yeah, it's kind of just that like, conveyor belt.
Yeah, like it can be. I absolutely think it can be. Especially, I mean, it is this whole center where people are getting this work done. So many people.
I
there.
mean, it's that.
Wild to see people when you're there. There are people walking around with bandages all over their faces. There are people at the medical, like dermatology clinics that I went to, the women working at the front desk who clearly had work done, and they just come into work, and you know what I'm saying? And it's like, whatever. So there is this level of just acceptance that people are walking around bandaged up, and it's okay.
Well, yeah, it's more than okay. It means that they care.
It means they're trying.
Yes, they're trying.
They're
That's
trying.
all we can do is try.
Yeah.
I mean, I think that's so interesting that like what you mentioned of kind of the conveyor belt type of scenario, but also what you're saying is they're very customer service based as well.
They are. So I think it just really depends on who you go to.
And so in the US though, design wise, what are things that you think are missing from a medical clinic?
Well,
Whether it be design or whether it just be like, care, what do you think just after your experience in Korea, what do you think, what we could learn or what we're missing?
okay. So what I would say generally, the thing that I saw Korea do phenomenally well, and same with Japan, is the attention they're paying to the client, the customer, the patient experience. So they had, like I said, you came in, they had those lockers so you can put all your stuff away. They had the nicest products for you to wash up, get cleaned up, hair dryers, things like that. Do you know what I'm saying? It's like, what I do find that's kind of interesting in the US is you go in, you see your person, they do the work, and then you just are walking right out the door, right? It's not like that over there. There is a whole process in which they want to make sure you have washed your face properly.
Yes. Makes sense.
You now are going to be putting your makeup back on, and we're giving you a space to take the time to do that. So you're just not going out in public looking like,
Yeah.
you do. So there is more attention paid to things like that. And that is something I noticed just across the board. Like I went to get glasses, and that's another thing you can get in Korea for very inexpensively and quickly. I got glasses, and at the the optometry center or store, I mean, they had this whole waiting area because they make the glasses while you wait in like 20 minutes. Okay. While you're waiting, they have a whole setup in this waiting room with a refrigerator stocked with drinks, and then they have snacks for you to eat. And it definitely is a different level of like, the customer experience. Does that make sense?
Yes.
It's very focused on trying to make sure the customer has a nice experience, and you're showing hospitality, right? Instead of like, you came in for a service, now you're just leaving. Yeah.
It's kind of like, because we've done a lot of design for spas too. So it's almost like combining those two, combining like, all of the wonderful accoutrements and all of the experience of having that like high-end luxury spa experience. But then, with the medical aesthetic, clinic kind of combined.
Yeah. No, it definitely feels more.
The little details.
Yeah. It's, you're there for a medical procedure or treatment, but it definitely feels like you're in a more spa-like setting for sure. Yeah. And I think if you're traveling and you're a foreigner and you're going to, like, you probably would want that.
Sure.
Right? Like,
Well,
I don't know
it
who
puts your
wouldn't
guard down a little bit.
Yeah, I don't know who wouldn't appreciate it. Who doesn't want to be in a beautiful environment, and who doesn't want to be in a place where they're trying to pay attention to some of the needs you have. And when you come out and you look all beat up because you had these painful treatments done, because they are painful, like it is nice that they're giving you as much time as you need to go put on your makeup or take care of yourself for, you know what I mean? There's no rush for you to get out of the locker room dressing area. It's like, just take however much time you need to get yourself back together again. So there is kind of this that part I did appreciate is what I would say.
Yeah.
But again, when I went to the locals place with Dr. Cha, it was like, okay, see you later. You know what I mean? I mean, there's nothing like that. And I had to go to a bathroom down the hallway that I was like, oh my God, is this a bar of soap? Like it had bar soap. You know what I mean? It didn't even have liquid soap. It had bar soap. So it was just such a different standard. I mean, who wants to touch bar soap that other people have touched? It was like freaked me out.
Okay, yeah. So the locals were different than
it is when you're going to a locals only place. The tourists, the places that are catered toward tourists,
it's different.
It's super nice, yeah. And I will tell you, I went to get my hair done at a place called Juno, and they opened one up in this very touristy area called Myeongdong. I mean, it would have been like if I went to a hair salon in Times Square, right?
Yeah.
And the woman who did my hair, God, I can't remember her name, but she told me that this hair salon opened to cater toward tourists specifically. Mm-hmm. And it happened right after the pandemic. It was like everyone was stuck at home during the pandemic and they saw K-dramas and they were like, boom, I'm going to Korea as soon as they let me. Okay.
Yeah.
Because she said they are inundated with tourists after the pandemic. And there are women who are there from the Middle East. Okay. We're talking oil money, right? They're there for like 3 months. Okay. Getting all these treatments done. Okay.
Imagine what a luxury. Like treatment camp.
Yes. Imagine what a luxury this would be.
Plastic surgery camp.
Yeah. And she said they come in every day for a blowout.
Every day.
Every day they come in to get their hair done. And wouldn't that be amazing?
Well,
like,
yeah. I mean, these women don't work clearly.
I mean, yeah. Okay. So anyway, you go in there and the level of just care that they have designed into the client experience is unbelievable. Like, again, beautiful, beverage stations, snack stations. Yeah. They had areas where you can just be while you're waiting, you've got a view, you're reading. They just had everything like taken care of. Yes. Space. And just a really gorgeous space. And then they have like these treatments, like have you seen like the scalp massage treatments that they have with the waterfall and the red light therapies? And they just have all these incredible things, right? Mm-hmm. So there is more attention paid to that, is what I would say, instead of looking at how you're maximizing the profit at every square inch of a space, right. I think. Yeah.
Yeah. Totally. I think that's a really important thing, because even like plastic surgery offices, for me, those are almost, I think in the US, worse, like more poorly designed than medical aesthetics, because I feel like the medical aesthetics, at least the clients that we cater to, they understand that they have to have some sort of investment, because, it's not, no one needs Botox. Right.
It's a luxury.
It's a luxury. Yeah. And so they understand that they have to be at a standard. I feel like, and more and more every day, but especially if, they're going to pay X for their treatment, like I told one of my clients, this was like 7 years ago, I'm like, no one wants to give them your credit card over a laminate counter. Okay. That's not a thing. Okay. I'm not going to pay $2,000 for Botox and give you a credit card over a laminate counter.
That's right.
Okay,
yes.
No. Yeah. So I think they understand, and you want it to feel special. You want it's all those things ingrained. But I will say, like, a lot of the plastic surgeries, they still look very medical. And I think that's kind of actually intimidating and scary.
Yeah, and they can look very sterile and medical, is what I would say. Yeah, mm-hmm. Yeah. So it would be nice if they thought more about the patient perspective.
Yes.
And I would be curious to see what a Korean plastic surgeon's office looks like. Like, what does that look like in comparison? Because I doubt it's as, you're not there for treatment. You're going in for a big surgery, and then you're going to be going to like a recovery place afterwards, right? So it's probably very different. So I'm curious to see what I'm going to take pictures when I go, and I'll send them.
Yes. Well, you'll need to come back and do that.
Well,
we'll go into that.
Yeah. Okay. Yes, we definitely will.
Yes. Yeah. But moving on, just to talk about kind of you have kind of a new role. You gained all these fans role? And now you have to like be loyal to them. So you're answering a lot of DMs all the time, and you have a responsibility to your people now.
Okay. Well, so why I love DMing with people? Because I love talking about skincare all the time.
Yeah.
Do you know what I'm saying?
You never get sick of it.
Yeah, I never get sick of it. And that's really why I started the account, because, I was so into it. And I just want other people to talk about it with. And also, I am not a dermatologist. I'm not an esthetician. And I don't know what the latest is. And I want to hear what works for people. Like, I'm curious to know what's out there. And I want to like receive that information, and I want to share it because, I would like to learn it. So
Yeah.
that's really what I'm doing. And then I have learned so much from DMing with people, and people confide in me about their plastic surgeries all the time. Okay, if somebody looks good to you and you're just like, why do they look so good? Trust me, they had some work done. Like they did. Nobody is aging backwards. They're not. Nobody's getting better looking as they age, really.
Right.
They had work done. And like, I know people don't want to admit it, but all these people, like, they don't even tell their spouses sometimes, right?
Oh,
Like
all
they're
the
getting
time.
Botox or lip filler or whatever. They're not telling one friggin' person in their life, but they're telling me. They're like, oh, I'm going to just tell you, right? Or they belong in very
a skin
conservative
therapist, really.
circles. Yeah. And they're like, yeah. And I'm like, okay, you do what you do you. Like, if you don't want to tell anybody, don't tell anybody. Like, yeah, there's no judgment either way. Yeah. But I think the thing that is very misleading is to think that people naturally look so great, because all these celebrities have had plastic surgery, right? Like Angelina Jolie likely had plastic surgery during the pandemic. There are lots of rumors about that. Brad Pitt had he had a facelift. That man is a white blonde man. Do you think he's aging like that naturally? Like, give me a break. Okay.
Well, you're the one who told me that, celebrities have facelifts at like age 35. You just don't know, Erin.
That's right. Yeah. They do. They're having them younger.
Which you're right, I didn't know that.
And they're on like low dose Ozempic. Okay, that's a thing where you can just be taking a very low dose all the time to keep in great, physical shape or whatever it is. They're on low dose Accutane to keep their skin looking amazing.
So they're just microdosing everything.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah.
Maybe that's the key to life.
Maybe that is. Maybe
a little bit of this, a little bit of that.
That's right. It's a
little concoction.
Yeah, that's right. It's all in the dosage and the quantity, right? So people are just getting work done and we just don't notice it. And it's not only just anti-aging work. It's also like Blake Lively that woman had so much work done, not to look younger, but to look different.
Right.
She looks different, and then people are doing that. Lindsay Lohan, oh my God.
Well, yeah, the nose job.
Her eyes, everything, right? I mean, she had a forehead lift. She had an upper bleph, I'm sure. She looks fantastic.
She does. She looks
great. Really does. I think Blake Lively looks great too.
Yeah.
Like, this is no shade at any of them, because I'm going to do the same things, right? Like this, that's not shade. It's just like, it's just the idea people are having work, and don't be in denial about or don't compare yourself to somebody and think, why do they look great and I don't? Well, because they're paying for it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think that's kind of what you're saying with this, just the culture in Korea. It's like, this is what we do, people.
I know.
Right?
Yeah. They're doing it all. They're doing all the things there. So Sarah from Made in Korea, she found Dr. Chet, the one who throws the insults. She found her because...
The one who told you you're not from around here?
Yeah, that's right. The one who said, I know you're not from around here.
Yes.
She got connected to Dr. Chet because she went out for dinner. I don't know if it was her uncle or her cousin or something, who is like a middle-aged man, okay? And he was wearing a mask, and she's like, oh, what's going on? He's like, well, I just got a new job, and so I had some laser and skin work done in preparation of starting my new job. Do you see what a different mentality this is? Like, have you ever heard of any man I don't even know most men getting laser work done or just any work done, but
they do it on the DL.
I guess. Okay. Mm-hmm. I don't even know why it has to be on the DL. Like, who doesn't want good skin? Like, do you want to be unattractive? You want to turn people off? Like, what is wrong with having nice skin? I don't understand that. But yeah, like, this is the approach in Korea. It's like, doesn't matter what age you are. You're like, you want to try and look your best. Mm-hmm. And people consider great skin to be one of the, the most critical things of looking your best. So that's why.
So this guy who was starting a new job
wants to have good skin before his job and meet his colleagues for the first time.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Yeah. Well, so like skin treatment to them is like a haircut to us.
Yeah, exactly. Like they're just like going in there and there was a woman when I was getting my work done who must have been in her I would say maybe in her early 60s. She had clearer skin than I did. And she knew Dr. Chet very well because they were talking about the kids and stuff like that. And, and I was just like, oh, wow. Okay. You're just coming in here and doing it all the time. And that's how you look so good. Because this is just very regular and routine for you. And for what things cost there, you could afford to do it very regularly. We just need to live there for like a year. And just get all the things done and come back with like our best, glowiest selves, probably.
Yeah. Well, you say that too, because you feel like when you go to Korea, they understand your skin a lot more than U.S. doctors. You've told that.
Oh, yeah, I think so. Yeah, because Dr. Chet got off more hyperpigmentation than anybody ever has on my skin.
Right. So
and nobody would be that aggressive in the U.S. either. Really? She did 3 treatments on me, and I look busted, okay, for a long time. Yeah. I mean, that was pretty extreme, and in the US, people would be like, it's probably going to cause more hyperpigmentation because all the inflammation and the irritation, but it did amazing things for my skin for sure.
That makes so much sense.
Yeah.
I love it. Well, I'm excited to follow your skincare journey with the plastic surgery because everything that you do is interesting. And
I know, maybe you'll come with me, Erin.
I would love to,
to come to Korea. We should
I just
try
love
and
going
go
to Asian. I mean, just the design there for me, it's like like you said, everything is so thoughtful. It's like, you're going to be hungry. You're going to want this. You're going to want that. It is a big like user experience.
There's definitely a lot of that.
Yeah.
In the luxury space.
Yes.
Now, when you're outside the luxury space, it's like the exact opposite.
Really?
But if you're in the department stores, they're phenomenal. I mean, they're not like any department stores we have here.
Yeah.
And they have like incredible basements with food halls down there. You go into a designer store like Gentle Monsters. It's like going into an art museum, right? And you're seeing
Gentle Monsters?
Art installation. It's a sunglass company in Korea.
Okay.
And you go to one of their stores and they will have some sort of installation that is truly museum worthy. Wow. And that is part of the experience of being a shopper there, right? Because that's the experience they want you to have. So it's different. It's definitely a different approach is what I would say.
So it's worth leaving your house. So many people don't want to leave their house anymore.
Well, that's me. I don't want to leave my house, but I came here.
You did, and we thank you for that. Uh-huh. But I mean, experience has been a buzzword for a long time, but it's I think people are really understanding it now.
Yeah, I think
that you have to create the experience for the end user.
Yeah, I mean, I'm 50 years old. No, I'm 51. How many years?
50, wonderful.
Okay, yes. Okay, how many more years do I have left? I don't want to look at ugly. You know what I'm saying? Like,
yes.
Like these eyes only going to see so many more years. Let me have a good experience. Like, I'm done with ugly. Like, I really am. I don't want to see that. I don't want to be exposed to it. Like, I want a good experience. It doesn't. It doesn't take that much. And you know that. Do you know what I'm saying? Yeah, it really doesn't. Yeah.
I mean, it does and it doesn't. You have to be thoughtful.
You have to have the eye for it, but you can easily create ugly like you can beautiful. That's all I'm saying. Right?
Yes, you can.
Yeah.
Yes,
The effort is the same is what I'm saying.
Yeah. I mean, or no effort. That's also a choice. That's a choice you can make.
Yeah, that's true.
And so people can follow you where?
Well, on my
your Instagram, which is called what?
The Skincare Diarist.
The Skincare Diarist.
Yeah.
Yes. And you're very entertaining.
Oh,
I love
really?
following you.
Okay,
Yes,
thanks.
you are. Yes, you are.
Okay.
And I can't wait to, I would love to come to Korea with you. So we'll talk about that.
My God,
but also, I can't wait to hear kind of, all of your findings from the plastic surgery. I know, people ask me about you all the time. So I know Korean skincare, Korean, all the things you can get done. It's just kind of a new buzz.
Yeah, and it's overwhelming too.
It's very overwhelming. Yeah. But you break it down so well, and that's what we love about you.
Oh, thanks.
What else? What else is going on?
Not much. Now that I did this, what are you going to do for me?
Whatever you want.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
okay, great. Yeah.
Whatever you want.
I have some spaces I have to show you that I need work on.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, well, we can do that.
Okay, good.
And so what's going on with your buildings downtown?
They are... Everything is pretty.
Now.
I know everything's pretty good. I mean, we've got that new apartment building. It has 60 units, and we're like at 40% occupancy, and so.
And you invested in that.
Everything's going well, but I mean, my passion is not real estate. My passion is skin.
Well, that's right.
Yeah.
Well, no, actually, your passion is becoming an heiress.
Well, yeah, I've been working on that my whole life. Honestly, do you know that there was a baby switch at the hospital I was born in Chicago? I'm not even kidding. Okay,
really?
Yes. And I was like, if I am the child of the founders of Betty Hanna, yes, I will totally be okay with that. Let me find out that my real parents are going to pass me down generational wealth instead of generational trauma, right? Please let this be true. But
well, I don't know. I've seen your dad. He's pretty handsome. I think he is your dad. Sorry.
Sadly, he is my dad. Yes. It would not.
But you got your amazing looks.
It would not have changed my affection. Do you understand what I'm saying?
That's right.
You don't.
Well, I think a lot of times too, women, it was as society in general. We were also always taught not to talk about money. That's inappropriate.
Yeah, I know. That's why I love this new generation of kids because they talk about money all the time. People are out there on TikTok talking about, here's my entire wealth portfolio. And then they literally break it all down. And listen, I would do similarly, except Antony's like, oh, hell no.
Your husband.
Yeah. I mean, I don't care. I'd just be like, oh yeah, here are all my numbers. I'm very open about everything.
I mean, that's what, when I first met you, I was like, I love this woman.
Yeah.
Yes.
I'm very open about it because I really do think like it demystifies things for people and then you learn from that too, right?
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah.
Absolutely.
I've learned so much from people exposing their finances. I'm like, look at these little fuckers making all this money.
Well, and there's so many things you don't learn in school. Like I didn't know what a credit card, like what does that mean really? Or like a mortgage, what does that mean really?
Yeah, that's right.
Like,
they don't teach you any of that stuff. They don't teach you any of that important stuff.
No.
That's why you got to be on TikTok to learn it. I mean, it's kind of crazy.
Yeah, that is crazy.
Yeah.
That is crazy.
Yes. Yeah. Do not take your financial advice from TikTok. No, don't do that. Okay.
No. Thank you, Caroline. You're the best, and we're gonna follow your journey. You have a lot of journeys, so we're gonna follow them all.
Are you sure? I don't see you liking any of my posts. Not one. Okay, I'm just literally calling you out right here, right now, because I don't see likes.
Really?
If I don't see
I will like it all
hearts.
the time.
Yes.
I will tell you one thing about me on social media, and this is just the God's honest truth. I actually like everything. I'm so focused because I have to do all my social media. I don't look at anyone else's really.
Yeah, I know.
You know,
I'm like that too. Yeah. And also because I'm on DMs a lot, like when I have time, I'll try and get into my DMs and try and respond to people. And I'd rather do that with my time than to go through the social media. Does that make sense? Because if I'm going to be on there, I'm trying to connect with people and actually connect with people.
Yes. Yeah. But I will double tap.
But I do check to see if my friends are liking my posts, and if they're not,
I get it.
Okay, good.
I get it. Likes for likes.
Yeah.
Right?
Always.
Yeah, always.
Yeah. I'm going to hold
That's not going away.
I'm going to hold the surgery facelift secrets from you if I don't see likes coming through.
Okay. That's a fair deal.
Okay.
It's a fair deal. But okay, when are you going to Korea?
I would love to go before summer and get this facelift done so I'll have a great summer, but I'm like, am I going to make it? Maybe I have to do it in the fall. I'm definitely 100,000%. Okay. I'm going to do the facelift this year.
Okay.
Yeah. I don't talk about it that much in social media because people get so they just get so salty when I talk about it.
Why? Because they think you're perfect.
Well, they just think I'm being crazy.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I'm delusional.
Like kind of what I
And
thought.
I'm causing dysmorphia or something like that.
Sure.
Or whatever. And I'm a bad example. But you see this.
I don't, but.
Oh my God. Okay.
I want the best life for you.
Yeah. So I will definitely do it sometime this year. And I do have a handful of doctors that I have already kind of said, these are the doctors I need to talk to.
Yes.
And so I need to make
And are any of them
with
U.S.?
Yeah. I have talked to some U.S. doctors, and there is a doctor in Seattle. I really want the lower and the neck done. And there is a doctor in Seattle doing that, which most doctors won't just do a mini on the lower face and neck. I know I'm going to need a mini surgery, and I'm going to need one big one. And so I'm preparing for both because I'm 51 years old, and probably at 55 to 60, everything's going to go to hell. But I can't.
You look 30.
But I can't wait till then. I got to take care of this now, and then when everything else goes to hell, I got to take care of this. You know what I'm saying?
The money maker's most important.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, the face card.
The rest you can cover up.
Yeah. So, I think this year sometime. You want to come with me?
I do.
Okay. Good.
I'm coming with you. We'll talk about.
I think it'll be good. You'll be a good voice of reason.
I
if you come.
I'm just fascinated.
Okay.
I'm just fascinated by everything Korea, and I love that when people are in. I always say, if that's your thing, be all in.
Yeah,
and,
yeah.
And
Korea
is all in.
Yeah, and I am too.
So,
okay, so that's why I got to go.
I love that. I love that kind of enthusiasm. Mm-hmm. So okay, well, thank you, and we'll talk to you soon.
Okay, this was great. Yeah.
Read the Room is brought to you by Design for the People, a full-service design studio and furniture boutique. To learn more, visit www.designfortheppl.com.